Yo, what's good everybody? Welcome back to another Q&A time with myself, Goody Beats, and IFBB Pro, Ross Flanagan. So, we're gonna dive into a couple of questions, but then we also want to kind of get into this topic that you've probably seen go around in the fitness community. I would say it's drama, but we're not gonna really get into the drama of it. We just kind of just give our opinions on it. And you guys will learn what it is quickly, but let's just answer these questions first. So, first question, Ross, favorite restaurant in San Antonio, Texas? I have an anniversary coming up.
Listen to me. I'm a food critic. I'm insanely critical about food to a point where it's fucking annoying. Go to Eddie V's. The one in Austin's a little bit better because it has a scenic view over the lake. But the one in San Antonio, food is amazing. Get a bone-in ribeye. Get it medium rare or medium. Ask the waitress or waiter, I want it extra crusty or extra crust or extra seared, because they're going to salt that bad boy up. It's amazing. You chew on the bone, delish. Get that. I think it's the truffle mac. Amazing. I don't even like mac and cheese. It's amazing. Crab fried rice. So amazing. And the calamari. Oh my god.
So good.
It's a Thai spice Asian calamari, and then the dessert, I think they had a bananas Foster, a flambe, which is I believe it's the thing's on fire, and then a chocolate ice cream thing.
I find this very hard to believe that Ross ate any of that.
I literally ate all of it. I prepared myself. I got super high, and I took MK677, which is basically makes you really fucking hungry.
It's like a SARM, right?
Yeah, a SARM that I know. I don't think it's a SARM, but it's in that category.
Okay.
But I took it just for that because I knew I was gonna eat way over my max. I ate everything.
Reason why I don't believe this shit, because I've tried to invite Ross. Let's do a food challenge, bro. Let's go Chipotle. Let's see if we can eat a 10-pound burrito. Or let's go to just do food challenges. They're fun to do, right? He won't ever do them with me. He doesn't know, no, I can't, man. My stomach.
This is so worth it. It's so expensive, but it's fucking worth it. That is my favorite place.
Okay.
Favorite place.
I've never been there, and I really don't know San Antonio. Really, I hardly ever go there for dinner, and the restaurant I'm gonna give is completely different from Ross, and he's probably heard of it and he's gonna puke. But I would recommend probably going to a restaurant called Mintiera, and it is a Mexican type Tex-Mex, but it's a really cool atmosphere. It's very iconic to San Antonio, meaning
it's on the river.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's in the Market Square area. It's a very iconic restaurant that when you go to San Antonio, you always go, at least make a pit stop to Mintiera. If you're not going to eat there, they have this huge bakery, fresh bakery, where they make all the Mexican pastries fresh every single day. And so it's just a really cool atmosphere, really good for pictures. It's just a cool spot.
Were you there last weekend?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I haven't been there in a very long time.
Sounds like you need to take Crystal there.
We go there as a family all the time. It's a really cool spot. Camila has actually never gone, but just the whole scenery. They have all these things coming from the ceiling. It's just super cool. It's a really cool spot. Everyone's there having a good time, good atmosphere. There's always mariachis playing through the restaurant, so it's just cool vibes. Okay, next question. This is going to be for me, but I'm sure they'll want your opinion. What do you think about exogenous ketones? Do they stop your natural production of producing ketones? Great question. Ross, you go first.
Okay, well, I'm going to preface my comments by saying I don't know anything about this, but I'm going to use my my SAT knowledge, because do you take the SAT? Okay, so they teach you how to answer questions, whether you know the answer or not.
Okay.
So I know the word exogenous. That means like outside.
Yes.
So if we're talking about, so I deal with a lot of exogenous hormones. with dealing with coaching clients, like if their estrogen is too high, too low, testosterone too high, too low, prolactin, all these things. If a hormone is too low, chances are they'll prescribe an exogenous hormone to bump up that level.
Natural production.
Right, but the natural production of that is now suppressed because now it's getting an artificial source. Whether that happens with ketones or not, I have no clue, so I can't answer that. But
yeah, it's a little different. I mean, yeah, it is. Okay. Your clients that are on keto, you never recommend them to take ketones.
I've never had to. So.
Okay, never had to. Okay.
No.
Okay. So this is how
and I've never taken them either.
Yeah.
So I'm ignorant on that.
Okay, so there's actually a lot of science on it, and Ross is a very big into like checking out studies and the science and all these case studies that they do. So they did a big case study on exogenous ketones. They do benefit you, like brain-wise, like give you a boost. They're good for your brain. Just great energy. So they do help you there. But where I think everything gets like wishy-washy is that they were advertised as they'll get you in ketosis so you can start burning body fat. And that's where it kind of messed up everything, which is kind of how the ketogenic diet as a whole got messed up, which is what you and I have this conversation about all the time. Ross will always, if you guys are familiar with his channel, he'll always troll on the ketogenic diet. Now, but he likes the ketogenic diet. He actually believes in the ketogenic diet. What's wrong with eating steak, chicken, salmon, beef?
And high quality fats.
And high quality fats.
We all need that.
There's nothing wrong with it. But where everybody kind of took it on social media and ran with it and then totally messed it up, right? With cream cheese, pepperoni, everything but the bagel, and just if it doesn't have a pound of cheese in it, it's not keto, right? And so everyone kind of messed it up. And it's kind of how I feel with exogenous ketones. I take them every day. I do. They're great. They help me drink water because I got to drink fucking 1.5 of these and it sucks. And so drinking boring water sucks. It's so boring to me. So I put exogenous ketones in a cup like this and I can easily drink it. It gives me a boost. I'm not really caring about it putting me in ketosis or not, or stopping me from producing ketones at the same time. Can it stop you? Sure. Do you want your body to naturally produce ketones if you're doing the ketogenic diet? 100% yes. But ketones do benefit you, but not for the reasons that you're thinking.
So it seems like, without poking the bear, it seems like this side of the product line or industry a little misleading. Instead of saying it gets you into ketosis, it could have said, and this is probably better, it helps amplify the effects of being in ketosis. Or
yes.
Amplifying the positives about being in ketosis. So mental clarity, consistent clean energy, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And
as opposed to getting yourself into ketosis.
Oh, I'm drinking this, I'm burning body fat. This is I didn't read these questions. It's stupid. Were you the actual thief in your neighborhood? So was I the thief? Was I the thief in my neighborhood? For those of you, that's not even a question, but whatever. For those of you who don't know, my neighborhood got hit up big time. 4 dudes hit my neighborhood simultaneously. Like, it was all planned, bro. Everybody got them on their camera. So my neighborhood has a Facebook page, so everyone was posting their Ring and camera.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they just showed cameras, like showed 4 dudes just checking cars, just hitting up and they hit up the whole neighborhood like within an hour.
Wow.
And yeah, I got my Power Beats headphones stolen. I got my earbuds stolen. They didn't take any of the supplements, so they didn't care about lifting. They didn't take my Manfrotto tripod, which is a $250 tripod. They didn't take
this is?
No, this is a cheap one from Amazon. My Manfrotto is the main one in that studio, and the one I keep in my car. Manfrottos, when it comes to tripod, they're like the Mercedes-Benz of tripods. Once you get a Manfrotto, you don't go anywhere else. I also have a ZU crane, which is a gimbal, $600 right there. Didn't take that. I had my credit card. I do need to check my credit card statement because they could have took a picture.
Yep.
But other than that, they just took things that they can they could.
Was it teenagers or men?
We don't know. They were all hoodied up, wearing a face mask, so they were protecting COVID.
That's the underlying story.
So at
least they're doing their civic duties by protecting everyone.
They were being safe there, but we couldn't see them unfortunately because they were masked up. At least they're being safe about being a thief. So no, it was not the thief. Okay. This is just a random question. This is going to be interesting to answer. What females would you recommend to follow for keto and bodybuilding? Great. I will give you the keto people. He will give you the bodybuilding people. Females to follow. Dude, yes.
I don't know anyone.
Bro, your main one, the queen one.
Oh, classical queen, but I don't know if she's not into talking about bodybuilding.
Okay, well, I guess I don't follow her. She's a badass bodybuilder.
Yes. If you guys want to follow a bodybuilder, her name is Alyssa Kiesling, classical queen. Very classic aesthetic look. She looks better than a lot of dudes.
Way better than a lot of dudes.
I don't know the context of the question. She doesn't talk about bodybuilding.
Yeah.
You
okay.
Not
you're
education.
right. Yeah. I didn't know.
I don't know what the person is.
Okay, so for females to follow keto, because there's not too many females that do keto and bodybuild, right? It's one or the other. But there are really good women who do keto and they're into resistance training and they're into exercise. They look great, they're fit, their knowledge is great. Number one, I'm going to recommend Dr. Jamie Seaman, Dr. Fit and Fabulous. She is a badass. She knows everything about everything. She's a practicing OBGYN, gets up at 5 in the morning, trains every morning, delivers babies all day, and then she's a mom. Just does that every day. She was Mrs. Nebraska. She placed top 15 in Mrs. America. She's just a badass. Dr. Jamie Seaman. Rachel Gregory.
Hold on, let me pause you there. So for everyone listening that are struggling to change their life or, get into the gym, I don't know anything about Jamie, but if everything that he said was true, she gets up at 5, has a full-time job, is a mom, is a wife, I believe she got other business.
Other businesses, yeah.
Other businesses.
Yeah.
She always eats her food, and she always works out. What is your excuse? You probably get up at 7 and go to a 9-to-5 desk job and go home and watch Netflix for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
We all have time, for sure. And I think that's why so many people follow her, because she's just so motivating. Every time I get on Instagram, when I'm on my Stairmaster at 9 in the morning, hey, I wake up late, but I go to sleep late. So stop you right there. There she is, 5 in the morning, making her post, heading to the gym, then goes to her 9-to-5 job. And then, being a OBGYN, you're on call, because you don't really plan having babies. They just pretty much come when they're ready to come. So Rachel Gregory is also a really good one. She is really big into metabolic flexibility. So she does keto and she eats carbs. And
she have a podcast?
Yes, she does.
I've heard that before.
She is really, really good, certified, knows a lot. Who am I missing? Low Carb Love doesn't really do bodybuilding, but she's an awesome person for keto recipes. And I'll tell you what, there's nobody that I know works as hard as Myra, Low Carb Love. She grinds every day, making content, doing all types of things to try to help you out. So she is awesome as well. So I know I missed probably a lot of people. Tara Garrison as well. She is really big into metabolic flexibility, keto, and bodybuilding as well. And she has a really amazing story for if you're a woman right now and you're at a very low spot, or just anybody, it doesn't even matter if you're a woman or not. She actually just made a post and it was really inspiring. So she went through a nasty divorce, abusive husband, rock bottom, couldn't get custody of her kids because she had no money. So if you don't have a place to live, they're not going to give you kids. Husband took everything, and she took her 3 years, but she finally has her own place, got her kids back. She's got a great job. She's just an inspirational story. And she posted how, if you're reading this post and you're at a low spot in your life, and you don't know, if you can ever recover, or you don't ever think you're going to get back to the way things used to be, you can. You got to believe in yourself. It's going to take time, but if she could do it, you can do it. And it was just a really inspirational post. I mean, okay, Ross, on this person is on maintenance calories now. Carb cycling, yay or nay?
I'm a fan of cycling everything. Proteins, fats, carbohydrates, cardio, training. The body is an ecosystem that is constantly evolving, constantly changing. The problem with, you hear the word plateaus. I have never plateaued in my freaking life. I've never done it because I'm always changing the stimulus. So, and I have a coach that listens to and he understands the same philosophies that I understand. So a good coach or, someone that understands the body knows that. It constantly needs different stimulus. Okay. It's like sitting, stupid analogy. Like imagine sitting in school for 9 hours, looking at the chalkboard, and you're just bored out of your mind. But then you have that one day where your professor's like, hey, let's go out to the forest and learn about leaves and bugs. Yeah. Different stimulus. Yeah. Now you're like, holy crap, yeah. That's you're engaged. You're engaged. Yeah. So if you continue to stay in maintenance mode and eat the same food and do the same shit, you're gonna be the same. So if I have my clients do carb cycling, the first, the easiest one to do is a high output caloric day versus a lower caloric day. So higher carbs on the days that you work out and do high cardio, and lower days on the ones where you don't move
on your off days.
On your off days, that's the easiest one to do. You can, and then there's a million different ways to vary that. You can go really high, really low. You can do, days 1, 2, 3 are high, days 4, 5, 6 are low, days 7 is none, and then another huge day. But yes, to answer your question, big fan.
Yeah, and I would recommend doing it as well.
Especially with keto, I
kind of somewhat am doing it. I'm doing targeted keto, and so 5 days out of the week I eat carbs, and on the other 2 days, on my off days, I don't eat any because I don't need them. I'm not doing anything.
And let me pause you. So carbs, this is the problem with society, is carbs are not enemies. They're not bad for you. They're tools. They are energy sources. The problem is that our society has used that tool like a saw all day long until you can't cut anything.
Yeah.
So the whole point of having a tool, for example, I just spent $9,000 on a rice grinder, okay, today. And part of the manual is you have to continuously maintain the stones that grind, the motor, the belts and the motors, you have to keep them lubed up, and these things cleaned. So this is a tool. Now, if I don't do any of that, if I don't polish the stones, I don't lube the belts, I don't vacuum this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, then that tool is going to be less efficient every time I grind rice.
Yep.
Except if I make sure that tool is healthy and thriving, now I'm going to get the same, the optimal benefits of that machine every single time. So that's why carb cycling is so good, is because you're constantly allowing those carbohydrates to do their job, and the insulin relationship, blood sugar, carbohydrates to always work.
Yeah, I mean, there's people eating 300, 400 grams of carbs a day who don't work out, sit all day, binge watch. Best upper body cardio if you're dealing with a hip injury. Yeah, that's tough. Because I feel like your hips almost everything. I'm trying to think what would not.
So there's a machine actually. It's I had a client who got knee surgery, and he was out for 4 weeks. So his gym had a bike, but it was for your arms. I forget what it's called.
Oh yeah.
And you actually burn more calories doing this than if you were on a bike, because your leg muscles have more mitochondria, more muscle fibers. They're more efficient. For example, you can walk all day, but if you were to walk on your hands, you'd be destroyed because your muscles just can't tolerate that activity. Yeah. Another one is there are some, I think they're called ski ergs are here.
Yep.
Ski ergs, you can do a rower, an air bike. Without using your
without
hands.
using your hands. Yep.
And then there's this other ski machine at the gym where you have your feet there and you're like this, but it also has a hand thing.
Do you think like any in the water movements?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you know, if your gym has a pool or something like
Yeah.
that, and just going like that in the water, because you go back and forth, you're going to be gassed.
Yep, for sure.
You're going to be gassed. So find something for sure. Man, I feel bad for the hip injury. Get better. Best program for a beginner to strength train. Best program for a beginner if I'm trying to get stronger. Well, one, you got to eat. You got to eat, and then find a program that, you know, depending on what type of strength you're trying to go for. I'm going to go ahead and to assume that it's like the big three: bench, squat, deadlift. Again, that's just the most common, right? You don't really hear anybody like, oh, dude, I want to get so strong in bicep curls or back pull downs. I don't really hear that. It's deadlift, bench, and squat. So find a program that incorporates those three, and incorporate progressive overload. Because, you know, again, for the longest time when I was training, I was doing the same weight every single week for years, never going up. That was like a routine. We did 225 for 10 times every Monday. Like never adding a 2.5. Like, no, that's just what we call for, is 225 10 times, 4 sets.
Wow.
Like for years. And then I heard about this progressive overload. I'm like, what is this? Oh, you're adding weight? What? You add weight each week? Progressive overload? That's what I would recommend, is find a program that incorporates that, and every week you slowly go up. Now, obviously, there's going to be a cap. Like, you're not going to consistently go up every single week. Exactly. You're going to reach your limit, and then from there, that's when you just start working on techniques on how to perfect that exercise. For instance, if you are someone who really wants to get their bench up, once you hit that max, well, then you start working on, okay, what's your weak point? Is it right here, getting it up, or is it at your absolute lowest? Then you just start doing techniques and different movements to perfect that, to even get that up maybe 5 pounds. But that's a big difference if you're going to like power build or whatever, and you're going to in a competition. That will make a huge difference. What do you think?
The only thing I would add to that is something that focuses on core. And a lot of people think that core is just your abs. The core is everything. But your extremities. So glutes, trunk, lats, erectors, because that core is going to help you with the squat, the bench, and the deadlift.
What's your favorite go-to keto dessert? Let's see. Go-to keto dessert. Man, I don't even know. Like, keto ice cream, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know.
I got mine.
I don't know. I'm not really a big keto dessert guy, but I do like ice cream, like, for sure. And so if I have some like Rebel ice cream, like that's delicious dessert. So I would say probably like a Rebel or keto ice cream.
My favorite when I was doing keto we used to roast our own almonds and then make a chocolate ganache with 100% dark chocolate, add a sweetener, and then some coconut oil. Melt it into a ganache, like a syrup, chocolate syrup, and toss the roasted almonds in the chocolate. Put it on a baking sheet with parchment paper and put it in the freezer. And now you have a dark chocolate roasted almond bark. Damn. You break it off, take it to the movies. Incredible. But then put some sea salt on top as it's cooling.
That sounds freaking delicious.
Woo!
See, Ross and I are completely different. He will make his dessert. Do you hear like what I'm like? Yeah, I'll just go get some ice cream from like Walmart or something. That is the difference between us. He will make his dessert. I will just go buy.
I will make it and then I will sell it.
There you go. Yes. Okay, so now on to like the juicy question. So for those of you who are not in the like fitness space or YouTube space, you probably don't know about this. But if you do, you know that there's like a big kind of like drama going on with Greg Doucette, Remington James, and about the Anabar. And if you don't know what an Anabar is a it's pretty much like almost a performance bar replacement meal. And the big controversy going on is that Greg Doucette saying that it is not a anabolic bar. Now, anabolic meals and anabolic recipes have just blown up over the past year. Just go on YouTube. Like, if you do fitness, then you do anabolic recipes. I've done it before. Ross probably done it without even knowing it. Ross probably makes anabolic meals and he's not even trying to, but they can be like...
I'm trying to stay anabolic all day long.
Okay, so there you go. So there you go. And so I kind of wanted to give our opinion on it. And again, we're not getting into the drama. We're just giving our opinion on it. For me, I have an Anabar. Okay, Remington James sent me a box, and I had tasted them. Now, I will say this: when I got it, I looked on the back and was like, "Holy crap! Like, I can't eat this. Like, this is well, one, it's not keto, right? And so it doesn't fit my meal plan. Doesn't really fit.
Well, hold on. This is the thing. It's not keto, and it's definitely not low carb.
Yes, it's not keto. It's not low carb. And again, just because it's not for me doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Like that's what I really want to get that point. Just because I wouldn't typically eat it doesn't mean it's bad. Okay, and the reason why I say that is that I come from the keto space, so my culture, my space, very much demonizes sugar. I'm not a fan of sugar. Does sugar taste good? Absolutely it does. It does. Who doesn't like sugar? Okay? But I just try to stay away from it as much as I can. So the NutriFacts on this bar is, it has 16 grams of sugar, 21 grams of protein, and 11 grams of fat. 270 calories. That's pretty good. Like, I mean, a couple more calories, and that can be considered a meal for me. You know, we keep our meals around 300 to 400 calories per meal. Like, that's kind of roughly where I keep mine. And so, yeah, it's
actually a good size meal.
It is too. It is. I mean, if you think about it, hey, don't even look at the calories. Like, look, I'm going to give you a meal with 11 grams of fat, 22 grams of carbs, and 21 grams of protein. You would, without even knowing what you're about to eat, you're like, oh yeah, like dope. Like like you just said, that's a good meal. Okay, let's go. But where I think it throws people off is the sugar, right? What do you think?
So, yeah. So I mean, I don't know what.
There's two questions.
What are your two questions?
I think that the number one is where people are kind of like drawing the line in the sand, and like you're either on this side or that side. Is it an anabolic meal?
So my first question is, why is there so much sugar in it? Okay. What is the sugar doing? Okay. The sugar is not doing anything. Okay. So to Greg Doucette's point was, why not just put an artificial sweetener in there?
So the reason why they said that they didn't put any stevia or any like monk fruit or anything like that is that it wouldn't hold the bar together. Now, I know nothing about making bars, producing bars. Do you know more about that type of stuff?
So yes,
do they have a point there?
No, they don't.
Okay.
Because Quest Bar doesn't have any sugar in their shit. Okay. So the Quest Bar uses a prebiotic fiber. And I have it at my house, actually, downstairs. Mm-hmm. The same shit. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. The problem with that is that for most people, it has gut issues with it. Yeah. But it is literally like corn syrup. Okay. Sweet as fuck, thick as fuck, like molasses. Okay. So they could. That's what Greg Doucette was saying, that they could use that instead. Okay. But it like the whole point of this thing is, I don't know what the point of the bar is. Yeah. And so again, then Greg's point was, I would never eat this. It'd be great for bulking. Their side of it was, the bar says nothing about dieting. Right, so there's no claims on it. There's no claims that it's a diet bar, Greg. So, and again, we're not here to say you're wrong, they're right. We're just kind of just giving our opinion on it and what we think about it. Ross has never like really even seen it. He's just like for the first time looking over. So that's why I really wanted to get someone like Ross and his opinion on it. Like, if it doesn't say it's a diet bar, and you look at it and you're like, hey, that's a pretty good meal. So if I'm being super analytical here, it says Anabar. Okay. Whole food performance bar. Okay. Okay. That is the entire ingredient list for one flavor. Now, if you guys know the RX bars, the ingredient list is like 2 lines. RX bar is made out of Whole Foods. This is not made out of Whole Foods. Performance bar. Would I put any of this shit in my body? No. Soybean, palm oil, cornstarch, oh my god, there's a lot of stuff I wouldn't put. Whole milk powder, stuff I wouldn't put in a performance bar. But that's just me. That was me being hyper critical.
Okay.
Is it made out of Whole Foods? There's some Whole Foods, yeah, but there's mostly a lot of partial ingredients to bind it, to fill it, to make it sweet. So there's an issue there. What were we talking about?
I think one of like the biggest point is like, can it be considered in the anabolic category? I think was the main thing. Like that the kind of like the go back and forth. It was like, you can't call this an anabar or an anabolic bar. It's not anabolic. It's got way too much sugar, or and so again, I don't know too much about.
I don't even really know what that means, honestly. Like an anabolic bar. Like, what is that? Yeah. What does that mean?
Well, I don't know. What does an anabolic meal mean to you?
Well, if you look at, so SAT it here, the opposite is catabolic. What would be a catabolic bar?
Nothing, right? Like
nothing with protein? Because you need protein to not go catabolic. So
sure, that's why. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
so like maple syrup, that would be catabolic because there's no protein in it. Protein prevents catabolism. Catabolism is the eating or the degradation of muscle fibers. Mm-hmm. So if you add protein, technically it would be anabolic.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
So I mean, it really, if I'm being like super critical, I would have just said Anabar, the first anabolic candy bar, and call it that. Mm-hmm. Because now no one can say shit about it. Yeah. Because it's candy bar, anabolic candy bar. It's a fucking candy bar.
Yeah, yeah. And they can't say
you can't go against that.
Yeah. And what candy bar is going to have 21 grams protein?
Exactly.
None.
That's what they should have done.
So, okay. And so this whole like back and forth thing, like they can have points on both sides. Like it is a good bar if you put it like in that category, like what you just said, and not had put it in it's an anabolic meal.
But to Greg's point as well, I think a lot of people look at these bars and they automatically associate them with like health and fitness or low calorie. Mm-hmm. That's just the nature of like Quest bars. They look at Quest bar, oh, it's a healthy option.
Yeah.
Because it's not loaded with sugar, not loaded with fat.
Yeah.
It's still pretty tasty.
Yeah.
And then they get like this, or now it's an Anabar with 16 grams of sugar and 11 grams of fat. That's a high calorie bar compared to something else. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just being analytical here.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess maybe for me what's so hard to understand is like what classifies something as like, oh, yep, that's an anabolic meal. That's in the anabolic category.
That's what I'm saying.
Like it's so wait, because it had too much sugar, it's not now?
Right.
But I thought the main thing was protein.
Right.
It's got 21 grams of protein. I don't know many bars that are not protein bars that have that much.
So it's
it's almost like you could just like pick and choose nitpick from both arguments, right?
So what's necessary to build muscle is essential fatty acids, fat, and essential amino acids, protein. So this bar is high in fat, high in protein, and that would be considered muscle building bar or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And then if you look at the sugar helps release insulin. Insulin shuttles protein into muscle fibers, helping you to build more muscle.
Yeah.
But the fat slows down the insulin, so it's like, I don't know what their issue is with this, honestly.
Yeah.
If he wants,
at the end of the day, I think at the end of the day, it's almost like what I've always preached is like, dude, I get so much crap for doing keto, and like I don't care. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you don't want to eat this bar, then don't eat it. Like, it's simple as that. Ross just said right now, like, he's like, okay, whatever. It's got a high protein, high fat, cool, but I wouldn't eat that. But Ross doesn't fucking eat a lot of shit, so that really doesn't say anything, right? It's like, if you want to eat it, great. If you like it, cool. If you don't, then don't. I think everything got so blown out of proportion because it's like, is it in the anabolic category or is it not?
So then, if I'm looking even closer, it says no fillers, no sugar alcohols, no GMOs. So meat and sugar alcohols do not get along. That's why I don't eat Quest bars or any protein bars, because they fucking destroy my gut. But if this is an option and it doesn't give me digestional issues, then I would maybe prefer this and get the extra calories versus something with 70 calories less, but now I can't stop farting. So it's like...
And I want to ask one other thing too, because I think a lot of people made this point, is that they were saying, oh, this bar would be great for bulking. And this is the way I look at things. I never understood that when they said, oh, this would be great for bulking, but I wouldn't eat it if I was cutting. Okay, so because this bar has 11 grams of fat, 21 grams of carbs, 16 grams of sugar, and 21 grams of protein, that's considered bulking. What I never understood is like, Ross, if you give someone macros for the day, they obviously have more than 11 grams of fat per day, right? They obviously have more than 21 grams of fat, protein per day. They obviously have more than 21 grams of carbs per day. Now, I've never seen anybody say you need to eat X amount of sugar per day. I've never seen that. But I don't also see a lot of these fitness guys even really care about that. I think they categorize sugar in their carb intake. Am I wrong? Or no. Okay, so at the end of the day, if your macros are, hey man, I need you to eat 90 grams of fat, I need you to eat 250 grams of carbs and 170 grams of protein. I don't care how you get there, fucking get there.
But this is the
That's
point
where I've been confused.
This is where Greg Doucette comes in.
Okay.
Because same with when I'm trying to cut or lean down for a show or have my diet clients, my goal is for them to eat as much as they can without eating a lot of calories.
Okay.
So like this is, I'm gonna say, is an expensive bar because of the macros. So you're wasting 21 grams of carbs. So let's say if this bar is 3 bites worth. So 1, 2, 3. You just minus 11 grams of fat, you minus 21 grams of carbs, and you minus 21 grams of protein. Now, if you extrapolated that out into 50 grams of avocado, 100 grams of rice, and 3 ounces of chicken, that's probably 40 chews compared to 3 chews.
Yeah.
So that's the issue with, I believe that's what he's saying.
Okay.
But
all great points.
Yes, but
I think what you just said, it's great, and same thing here. If you're someone who's just looking at the end of the day, I just need to get here.
Now, if you want to get there as fast as possible, then you would want to eat something calorically dense.
And that's why they say it's good for bulking.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and let me ask you this. This is the last question. Can you eat this and still cut?
Of course you can.
Okay, so you can do either way. It's really up to you guys. I'm glad you answered it that quick.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where people were like, when I'm looking at the comments and looking at the arguments, I'm just like checking out there, looking at this. The main thing was like, oh, I mean, great for bulking, but don't eat it if you're cutting.
No, I think it's a stupid argument, because if you're eating 6 meals a day and you take out 265 calories across that 6 meals.
Yeah.
And say, okay, well, I just took out, a couple here, a couple here, a couple here.
Yeah.
Now I have 265 calories.
Yeah.
I can have this bar.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm still cutting.
Yeah.
According to caloric, laws.
Yeah. Which we need to do a video on that very soon. The whole calories in, calories out. So many people say it's not so black and white. You've made videos on it, and then some people are like, nope, law of thermodynamics, calories in, calories out. I don't care what you say. You're not gonna change my mind when it comes to calories in. And the guy's like, well, wait a minute. I don't want to get into it, but if you eat X amount of candy and healthy foods, they're not the same, but they're the same calories. It's one of those things like, and I don't understand why people are so heated on that topic. Why are people so like it's almost like religion or Republican or liberal. Like if you're liberal because you believe in calories in, calories out, or you're Republican because you don't, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. Like people are so heated about that topic, dude.
Dude, it's with everything. Artificial sweeteners. Oh my god, it's the funniest.
Or like sucralose.
Yeah,
it'll give you cancer.
Yeah, it just deteriorates your brain and gives you cancer. Oh, I mean, I don't. Where are the bodies? Like, show me one person has died of it. Oh well, studies.
There were a couple of rats.
Yeah, a couple of rats died
in China.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, guys. So this Q&A obviously went way too long, but I like that. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. If you want to check out his YouTube channel that he doesn't post on, go check it out, or go check out his Instagram.
Yeah, post on Instagram.
He posts on Instagram a lot. We just actually made a bunch of funny videos today that I think you guys are going to like. So, as always, guys, we'll see you on the next video. Peace.
I found a joint in Mom's dresser drawer.